Hey there, fourth graders. Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide as we uncover one of the really great mysteries of computers. You probably use them every single day for school and for fun, but there is this whole secret world hiding right beneath the keyboard. Okay, let's dive into this and solve the amazing mystery of computer storage.
Now, I want you to close your eyes for just a second. Seriously, try it. Imagine all of your favorite digital files, your absolute coolest video games, those funny pictures of your pets, and maybe that huge science homework project you literally just finished. Imagine them all flying through the air and zooming right into your computer. Where do they go? Like, where do they permanently live when you turn the power off? Because they've got to have a home, right?
Well, to answer that, we've got to learn two really important words. The first is storage device. A storage device is basically a physical piece of hardware that helps a computer save information permanently. And that information, we call it data. Data is simply the digital stuff, the games, the words, the pictures. So you can think of a storage device kind of like a physical safe. It locks up your digital data so it's always right there when you need it.
Here is our quick roadmap for today's Explainer. Number 1, we'll meet your storage devices. 2, magnetic storage drives. 3, optical storage disks. 4, solid-state storage devices. 5, the big SSD versus HDD showdown. And 6, measuring bits and bytes.
All right, Section 1. Meet your storage devices, internal and external.
So storage devices basically live in two different places. On one hand, we have internal storage. This is the memory hidden deep inside your laptop, your tablet, or your smartphone. It is always connected, and it actually holds the operating system that makes your whole device wake up and run. On the other hand is external storage. You connect this from the outside. It's super easy to carry, kind of like a tiny little drive you put in your pocket to transfer files from your classroom all the way to your home.
Okay, let's pause for a really quick mini-exam question. Which storage is located inside the computer? Think about it for a second. Got your answer? Yep, that's right, it's internal storage. Great job!
Moving right along to Section 2, magnetic storage drives, those spinning metal disks.
Now this might sound a little bit like science fiction, but it is very real. Magnetic storage uses tiny magnets to save your data. The most common device of this type is called a hard disk drive, or HDD for short. I really want you to picture a stack of shiny metal plates spinning incredibly fast, while this tiny robotic arm with a magnet on the end hovers just above them. It's literally writing your homework onto the metal using invisible magnetic forces. How cool is that?
Want a secret trick to ace your next computer exam? Just remember this. The word magnet is right inside the name magnetic storage. So whenever you hear HDD or hard disk drive, just picture a magnet.
So, hard disk drives have some pretty massive advantages. They hold a huge amount of data, tons and tons of homework and videos, plus they are very inexpensive to make. But there is a catch. Because they have those spinning metal plates and moving robotic arms, they're actually quite fragile. If you accidentally drop a laptop that has a spinning hard disk drive inside, those moving parts can easily break. Also, because you literally have to wait for those plates to spin, they are a bit slower than the newer solid-state devices.
Let's look at Section 3, optical storage disks, which use light to save data.
Okay, so the crucial point here is that optical storage devices use real lasers to read and write information. Have you ever seen a CD or a DVD lying around? Well, those are optical disks. A very precise laser beam shines right onto that shiny plastic surface and burns tiny, completely invisible marks into it. Those little marks? That's your music, your movies, or your video games.
Here is another vital memory trick for you to study. The word optical relates to your eyes. And what do your eyes need to see? They need light. And a really, really focused beam of light is a laser. So it's like a chain. Optical leads to eyes, which leads to light, which leads straight to laser.
CDs and DVDs used to literally be everywhere. Their main advantage is that they are super light and absolutely great for handing a movie to a friend. But they definitely have some major disadvantages today. For instance, if you leave a CD on your desk without putting it in its case, it scratches very easily. And a scratched disk actually loses its data. Plus, they just can't hold enough data for modern high-definition video games. That is exactly why you really don't see them used very often anymore.
All right, on to Section 4, solid-state storage devices, the modern superhero.
These are basically the modern superheroes of computer storage. Solid-state storage uses electronic circuits to store data.
There are no spinning plates here, there are no laser beams. Instead, these tiny electrical signals just zoom through microscopic circuits to save your files pretty much instantly. And because there are absolutely zero moving parts, these devices are completely silent.
So here is the absolute most important thing to remember about solid-state drives, or SSDs. Solid means exactly what it sounds like. Nothing moves. There's no spinning, no sliding. No moving parts equals SSD.
Because there are no moving parts to slow things down or break, SSDs are just packed with amazing advantages. They are incredibly fast. When you turn on a computer with an SSD, it wakes up almost instantly. They are also highly durable, so if you accidentally bump a laptop with an SSD, your data is completely safe. Honestly, the only real disadvantage is that this amazing technology is more expensive. You'd have to save up a bit more of your pocket money to buy one of these compared to an older magnetic drive.
Now, you've probably actually used one of the best real-life examples of solid-state storage, the trusty memory stick, also known as a USB drive. It's really just a tiny SSD that fits right on your keychain. You plug it in from the outside, which makes it external storage. So say you have this huge presentation due for science class, you can save it onto a memory stick at home, toss it in your backpack, and then plug it right into your school computer. It is safe, fast, and has absolutely zero moving parts to break on a bumpy bus ride to school.
Let's move on to Section 5, the SSD versus HDD showdown.
So when we put these two head-to-head, who actually wins? Well, when it comes to speed, the SSD is the clear winner. And because it has zero moving parts, the SSD also wins on toughness and having a lower damage risk. But what about cost? There, the magnetic HDD takes the prize because it is much, much cheaper. So basically, SSDs win on speed and toughness, while HDDs win on price and being able to store massive amounts of data.
And finally, Section 6, measuring bits and bytes.
Let's look at how this builds, going from the tiniest piece of information all the way up to a larger file. Step 1 is understanding binary. Computers really only speak in ones and zeros. Step 2, a single 1 or a single 0 is called a bit. That is literally the smallest unit of data. Step 3, when you group 8 bits together, you get what's called a byte. You can think of a byte as one single letter in your homework essay. Step 4, group 1,000 bytes together and you've got a kilobyte. And step 5, group 1,000 kilobytes together and you reach a megabyte. That's about the size of one high-quality photograph. You see how it stacks up, kind of like building blocks?
Wow, you guys have done a fantastic job learning all the secrets of computer memory today. You now know all about internal and external storage, spinning magnetic drives, glowing optical lasers, and those lightning-fast solid-state circuits. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Look at the electronic devices around you right now. Your tablet, maybe your parents' phone, or your video game console. What kind of secret storage technology do you think is hiding inside them right this very second? Keep wondering, keep exploring, and I will see you on the next Explainer.